Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 2nd through the 8th, and during that time, we'll have a waxing crescent moon. And waxing crescent is a really good time of heightened energy, really good time to just kind of execute things that you've been working on, a good time to just buckle down and get things accomplished. We will then move into the first quarter moon on the 7th and the 8th, and that can be just the opposite. It's a time when you might feel impulsive and impatient and not be able to really buckle down. So keep those moon energies in mind as you're moving through your week. Your overall message for this reading is conclusions are within reach. All right, let's see what Capricorn has going on. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter this week. So, of course, please keep that in mind and take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, Capricorn. As I'm shuffling the tarot, I would like to remind you to keep a spiritual journal. Sometimes we don't recognize the patterns that are evolving when it comes to spiritual experiences and things that you're learning. So, keeping track of the things that you learn, whether you hear something in a sermon or a speech, or if you're having synchronicities or dreams, different encounters that you're having, just a really good thing to keep track of those so that you can look back over time and kind of see your evolution, or maybe be reminded of things that you've already learned in the past. So it's just my happy little reminder for the week. We've got some cards flipping out for you here. All right, Capricorn. Your overall energy for this week is the Chariot. So, I call the Chariot the packing up the minivan card. This is kind of not making a move, but getting ready for a move, kind of just making sure that things are in order so that something can be executed. So, some kind of energy going on there. Your situation this week is the Six of Cups. So, this is about kind of enjoying the moment, but it can also be reminiscent of things in your past, maybe thinking about your childhood, or might be that you encounter, like, a friend or family member from your childhood, but it's that kind of feeling, kind of a nostalgic feeling. So, is some sort of nostalgia, causing you to make some sort of, or not make the move, but get ready to make some sort of move. So interesting there. At the root of your situation is the Death card. So this could be that someone in your past has literally died. The Death card doesn't always mean actual physical death, of course, but it can. So, but this could be, if there's been maybe a death around you, friend or family member, it could be causing you to kind of go back in time and do that reminiscing, thinking about that person, thinking about, earlier times in your life. So the other thing the Death card can represent is just an ending of a way of thinking or a way of being. So it looks like there's been some sort of trigger here, again, with the death of a person or a death of something, that some way of being that you've been, and it's causing you to want to get prepared to make some sort of move, or maybe change something about your current situation. In your recent past here is the Seven of Cups, which is, it's just a lot of choices. You're coming from a place where you've had a lot of choices. You may be trying to narrow some of those things down right now in the present, and that's causing you to prepare to make, to kind of have this movement, or maybe you're still kind of in that mode of trying to narrow down exactly what it is that you want to choose, if you have a lot of choices there. So keep that in mind. What is on your mind this week is moving ahead. So here's another six, a couple of sixes here coming up here in this reading. This is moving ahead just with your thoughts, your ideas, with your way of thinking, but you're moving to these calm emotional waters. This is not a rapid escape. This is very calm, and this is thoughtful, and moving towards new thoughts here, and new ways of thinking, with all of those swords there in front of you. And just in front of you this week is the Ten of Cups, which is really one of the happiest cards in the deck. So whatever you're moving towards is going to be very positive for you. Whatever these emotional things here that you're learning here with the Six and Seven of Cups, it's something that's really it's affecting your heart, and it's affecting the way in which you want to move forward. And again, in calm waters, in being clear in the way that you want to, be the way that you want to think. This could be just manifesting things or thinking more positive thoughts as you move forward, but it's taking you to a much better place emotionally where you're, that's the ultimate happiness card. That's really awesome there. In your advice position is the Nine of Swords. So, when this card comes up here in this advice position, this tells me that you need to let go of some of these anxious thoughts that you're having. So, is it the fact that you've had all these choices and different things that you may still be working on that you maybe haven't made a complete choice about? But this to me says that you really need to kind of let some of that go. Let some of those, you want to move towards these positive thoughts here that are on your mind, and let that anxiety go. If that's in that position, whatever way you can find. I find that sometimes if you've got those kind of racing thoughts, ruminating thoughts, making a list, sometimes helps when you're trying to make choices and look at pros and cons. Just physically writing it down is sometimes just some of the best way to get those things off of your mind there. What is beyond your control this week is the Queen of Wands. Okay, so, here we are. It's beyond your control and it's Queen of Wands. This kind of tells me that you know what you want. This, if you're kind of in this indecisive thing, and maybe it's the influence of others. I mean, there's quite a few other people that I'm seeing in these cards right now. Are you under the influence of other people kind of telling you what's best, what's, kind of what you want when you really know what you want? And I'm going to say that, yeah, you want to take the advice of people that are around you, but ultimately these are your life decisions, right? When it comes to changes that you're making or changes that you're thinking about making here with this Chariot card. Again, if this is the packing the car before the trip, what is the trip and what are you packing in there? So, this card in this, it's beyond your control to really, what fires you up, what gets you excited, and what motivates you every day. And again, your overall message here was conclusions are within reach. So, make sure those conclusions are coming from yourself. Of course, you can take advice of, again, the people around you, but ultimately it's your decision that really matters the most. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid is the Ace of Swords. So this is kind of a mental breakthrough here. And maybe you are trying to avoid that, and maybe it's a little scary to kind of narrow that down if you're having these anxious sleepless nights and there's just all these different thoughts are on your mind. But if you're, this is your big question, is, do you really want to find the solution to this, or are you trying to avoid finding that solution because you know that it does mean movement, it does mean change? So that's really your big question this week is, do you want to have a breakthrough? And maybe it's not this week, maybe you're not quite ready, and that's why you're, kind of in this Chariot mode, kind of getting ready to. There might be big decisions that you're mulling over, and it's hard to make them. And you may not make them this week. It might be next week. It might be in a few weeks. These might be big life decisions about, this could be about, do you want to move, big decisions like, moving to another state, or, changing careers, or, moving into a different line of education, just kind of big questions like that, because you have all of these choices, which is good. That's a good thing to have choices, but sometimes can be very hard to narrow those down. In your outcome position is the Star card. Okay, so that's very interesting because this is a card of kind of direction. It's that balancing between the physical and the emotional, kind of your material world, but finding that balance between what makes you feel good emotionally when it comes to the things that you're doing in your material world. So, but this is also a card of being on course. It's a card of getting to your destination. So, and I'm going to go back to this Queen of Wands, that here, what drives you, and what drives your decision making better than anyone. So when it comes down to it, your ultimate happiness is coming from the fact that you know that better than anyone. And even though you might be hearing these conflicting voices around you, that you do kind of need to stick to your guns. What's being hidden from you this week is the Ace of Pentacles. So interesting. Ace of Swords is in your, that's your big question this week. You know, is that your secret desire or what you're trying to avoid? Ace of Pentacles is hidden from you this week. This is kind of a new, you know, typically Ace of Pentacles is like a new financial opportunity, which could be either money coming in or a job or some kind of offer. And maybe, and if that's one of the big changes and choices that you're trying to make, again, you might not come to that conclusion this week, and this is hidden from you. So it may be that you're kind of mulling that over and making decisions in that area. But again, this may not wrap up this week. Like I said, when it comes to this anxiety here, make sure you're just making lists, and so that you're making the best choices for yourself. And because conclusions are within reach, again, you may not reach them this week. It seems like this is a bigger type life decision. That's not the kind of thing that wraps up in a week. So let's see. Let's get a final message here from this whole Oracle deck. It doesn't really want to shuffle. Let's see why. All right. Speak Up is your first card. We're going to pull another one here. Speak up and love your spirit. So yeah, speaking up to maybe again those around you. You've had some sort of big change, and it's just making your or what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the catalyst for this change. Whatever this ending has been, it's making you kind of realize that you need to narrow down these choices and kind of narrow your focus when it comes to this big change that you're thinking about making. You're not making it yet, and you're kind of, again, you're kind of getting ready. You're gathering all the information that you need so that when you make this decision, you feel like it's the right one. So you know, Capricorns are very goal oriented, and I get that. And, you know, you may just be focusing down on those goals. So, and that's probably your tendency here. And so, again, list making, pros, cons, that sort of thing. That's the kind of week that you're going to have this week. And I'm going to say too that just relax a little bit, because these answers, it seems like they're going to start to come to you. It may not be this week, and this is something that, again, because it seems like it's a big life decision, this may take some time to really come out, where you feel like you've made a decision and you're going to move in a certain direction. So, Capricorn, I really appreciate your time here with me today. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use. Um, if you're comfortable leaving a comment, of course, do that. I love getting that sort of feedback. It helps me help you. And also, I do post weekly readings, so come back next week and we'll see if this energy continues for you or if there's something completely new here for you as well. Also, if you like my reading style, please hit the like and subscribe button. That really helps my new channel, and it does help you find me next week, which is awesome. So thanks again, Capricorn, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.